Evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, today we have a bit of an interesting one. This is going to be a multitude of different tactics that I certainly find that I use when on the run. So we begin with tank here, and I think this is quite an interesting one because again, it's it's always interesting to see, I think, certainly what other people do when confronted with a tank. So for example, that guy there just sat still, which I guess not much more you could do really, but and I think this is a good example here again, because this is obviously a much better tanker. I don't know if it's the same dude actually, but probably not. But the way to kind of combat this particular tank was to get in its turret space and deny its shot. Now, I don't know if that's an exploit. It'd be interesting to know if that's actually an exploit, because I massively use it, and let me explain really why. Because obviously when railguns come at you, their range is very good, but close range you can actually bamboozle them, and all you need to do is just get within their sweet spot, and if you can drive the tank on top of them, then you pretty much have got them. It's a bit of a wrestling move pretty much, and I find that works quite well. But anyway, I think certainly this map was a good one, because I think really what we were showing was they brought continual tanks at us, and we did manage to destroy them all. So they then stopped and started running infantry fits alone, but we'll get to that. So there's another tanker. I think it's the same dude. Yep, it's the same dude. So again, just keep in his space. All I did here was then just go past him, because obviously he has a hard time maneuvering as well as firing. So you can see he does a lot, and he jumps, he bails, and look at that, he's running a forge gun. Probably not a bad thing to actually run with a tank suit. I personally don't like doing it. To me, it just feels, I don't know, a bit of a waste of money, because you generally don't know if you're just going to be insta-popped by something anyway. So I think to run a forged gunning suit is a loss of some kind. Anyway, so I think this is the kind of thing to bear in mind, because a lot of the time, I certainly generally find I adjust my tactics to what people do. So for example here, they know that I've got supremacy. I'd actually, this is quite a bit moved forward. You'll see how much the match is almost over for us. And I got killed. They actually called in a militia tank behind me where I just didn't see him, to kill me, which is a bummer, as we would say. So there's one or two things you can do here. You can basically call in a tank hunter fit, but then I see that they've got maybe 2 or 3 more tanks coming in, so they've decided to tank spammers. So what I'm actually going to do here is use the bomb truck tactic. Now I know a lot of you have an issue with this. I'm kind of with you on that actually. I mean, I've been doing a lot of bomb trucking lately, and I've got to admit I'm amazed how good it is. Whenever somebody railguns me now, so the whole red line railgunning thing was a bit of a pain in the ass, wasn't it? What I do now is I just call in an LAV, and I load it with bombs, and I go into the red line and kill that tank. And there's only a few that I've not got so far. So I've got to admit, if you're having frustrations with red line railgunners, I would recommend you do bomb trucks to just remove them. Even if you don't kill them, the mere fact that you're doing it terrifies them, because they don't want to lose their phenomenally weak, expensive, shitty tanks. So I think definitely, if it's a psychological thing as well, when you see that somebody's bomb trucking, the immediate response is, oh no, come on, I don't want to do this. And I think absolutely it's worth doing. So anyway, have a consideration of that. What I was going to do here was actually bomb truck the Creodon Have, but I think I missed him and I went for the Seeker by mistake, so oh well. But I killed 2 dudes, so I'm quite happy with that. But it's still laugh at bomb trucking. I think it's funny. I just have kind of like Looney Tunes music in my head when I do it, like Tom and Jerry when Tom was chasing Jerry and he kind of twats him with a great big oversized mallet. Love it. Anyway, so here we go. So once we've got them managed a bit more, I then call in my dropship. So we've gone from tank to LAV to dropship. So hopefully, and again, that's not unusual. I like to show these things to really show that you should generally, move around and change your tactics as and when needed. My thing was being shot as well. That sucks. But luckily, didn't get killed. But I think a lot of people, it's funny really, because a lot of people are really just sticking to 1 or 2 suits and that's it. And people don't really think about adjusting their tactics as you see here. And I think it's a fascinating one really, because the enemy have certainly done it. They were being beaten on the ground, so what they've done is called in tanks, which is not a bad thing to do. And look at that, I killed the pilot as he tried to recall it. Oh dear, that was funny. So I think, a lot of the time you're just trying to react to, I guess, your enemy, and I think really just try, don't forget that you got a whole range of suits, guns, vehicles and tactics at your disposal. Anyway, let's talk about dust. Funnily enough, as this video comes to you through your eyeballs, the million clone event is going on. It's not actually, because I'm recording this on Thursday, so bit of a cheating going on here, but let's just pretend we are. Okay, it's going really well, isn't it? Who would have thought we would have killed 27 million clones? Does that mean we get 27 million skill points? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? I suspect, sadly, not. But anyway, let's hope it all goes to plan. And by the time you see this video, it probably will be the last chance you have to actually get involved. So I think certainly, do try and do that. I think we'll release this Sunday morning kind of thing. So I think, try and give the game a go. You just need to play 10 games. That's it. That's your marker. You've got to play 10 games. I know a lot of you are going to AFK it, but that's not the spirit, is it, bro? You need to actually kill stuff. So don't revive anybody, even if it's your best bud. Let him die and then make him respawn. And just remember that it's about the amount of killing and carnage from this point forward. So I think definitely give that a think. I think as well, if you're going to sit at the back and redline railgun like this complete coward here, I would say probably best if you just don't bother. I think really get in the game, go and fight, go and lose some free suits. This is going to be funny for those of you who KD matters to, because I imagine a lot of you are not going to be able to actually play this game with a view to mind that you want your 1 million or 2 million skill points with a booster, but yet you can't stand the thought of losing that 0.1 or 0.01 of your KD, because lol, it really matters, bro. It really does. No, it doesn't. KD never matters, never will, and I think it's a terrible measure to use because it's just so easy to manipulate. It's such a pointless metric anyway. It doesn't show if you're good at the game. It shows if you're capable of getting stats padded by sniping or tanking or something, and I think it doesn't really show a good player at all. I think what shows a good player is perhaps somebody who can actually go into a match, use any kind of gun and kill stuff. Anyway, we've spoken about that before. Look at all those reds. This is going to be glorious. Now, again, the bloody red line railgun, the only thing he's doing is just sat at the red line shooting me. It just sucks, doesn't it? It's just, this is so sad and broken and pathetic. It really is. It's like that guy can just sit in the red line, complete knowledge that nobody can touch him. Even if we brought a red line gun, tank to come and deal with him, he can just roll back. And it's kind of stupid because he has every ability to project his damage across the map and zero real ability to be absolutely God. And that sucks. I mean, the whole ethos of EVE has always been, or rather CCP, has been risk versus reward. And I think with so much reward for so little to no risk, I think is just fundamentally wrong. So, I'm really hoping that gets changed in 1.8. I think it has to. I think, to be honest, it's become too much of a liability now, where, a lot of players are just sat in the red line every match, sniping away, shooting away, because they're kind of semi-AFK as well. And just by sitting in a tank means they're not going to be sniped. Sitting in a tank, they can just roll back if they're shot, because they'll never be one hit killed, pretty much, unless you get very unlucky. And it's kind of dull, really, so I think that's what sucks. But anyway, look at that orbital. Look at this glorious orbital coming in. That was probably about, I don't know, 11 people, 10 people, and 2 tanks as well. So there we go. Epic stuff. This was one of those matches that I think you kind of look for all night. We have been playing some terrible matches this night. And it was pretty depressing as well, because it was demoralizing how bad the matches were going. Even ones we were winning, it was just disappointingly tough. And I think it's just because a lot of people are really out to kind of throw the prototype around. I think a lot of people are really, I don't know, just exploiting maybe some of the kind of shitty parts of the game. It's not a problem because I guess we all do it, but I think it's just, a little bit disappointing when you see a whole squad full of heavy suits and rail rifles, which is what we've been encountering all bloody night. So this was a joy to have a game where we just actually had a really good, simple, fun match, and boy, this certainly was one. So there we go. So final points to consider: if you're going to play Dust, get in now, log in now, and come play some matches. Make sure you've done 10. and reap the benefits of 1,000,000 skill points. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.